Hey everyone, so here we are, we're back. This is part 2 of the Conjure Up 1604 install. Uh, we're at the same spot, but now we have all of the machines commissioned and ready to go for the deployment of the cloud. You can see here in MAAS we've got all the machines ready except the 2 that deployed during the landscape install. So we're ready to continue. This video will be mostly fast forward, I'm guessing. Hopefully we won't hit any issues. When it's done and everything's ready to go, we will mess around in the GUI a little bit, deploy a machine, try a few things, but hopefully this goes smooth. So we'll configure, let's do KVM. This is, yeah, the LXD, we'll have to explore that a little bit later. Open vSwitch is still your only option for networking. They just want to know about your public network, so that's fine. Make sure you're not stepping over any other ranges in your network that you might be using for something else. We're going to do Ceph and Ceph for block and object store because it is easier and it takes less machines than Swift does. iSCSI's kind of out of the question. And we won't mess with this. We want to just get this up and running and keep it as not complicated as possible. So let's add some hardware. We're just going to add everything because it's going to take all of these machines to make it. That should be enough to make it high availability. Not sure why that isn't green. Let's let it do auto placement. No. High availability. Okay. You might need you need 3 that are on the public network. So that's okay for this install. I do have 3 that are on the public network, but one of them was one of the ones that Landscape picked. So I don't have 3 available on the public network. But you can get high availability with 6. So I might reconfigure after this and try that. But for this video, it doesn't matter. Autopilot placement, that's fine. Install. So with the manual WWN or manual wake on LAN, manual power options, you're going to have to start these with either wake via the command line or just hit the power button. Since I'm in front of the machines right now, I'm just going to hit the power button on them. So that one's coming up. I have noticed that you need to do this in a somewhat timely manner because it does take a while to get these machines installed, and that it will fail the installation if it doesn't get the machine bootstrapped and ready to go in enough time. So the first one is bootstrapping. So after that one, while that one's coming up, we can go ahead and enter our password. This is for the this should be for the dashboard. So just create that, and now we'll get our progress bar. So we'll wait for the next machine to deploy, and we'll turn it on when it's ready. Okay, we're moving along. 15%, we're going to start seeing a bunch more machines deploying here very quickly. Pretty much all of them, actually. Okay, so it's trying 1, 5, and 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at MAAS, because I think it's going to kick them all on. So deploying 4, so we can go ahead and hit the button on that. It's doing 5. So 5's deploying, 1's deploying, 6 is deploying. So go ahead and power those on. And we've only got one machine left to go. It's allocated and 2 is deploying. So now all the machines are on. And we're already at 65%, so we're getting there pretty quick. Just a quick check, so everything has been deployed. Looks like successfully. And we're creeping up, we're creating our containers, our virtual machines on top of the machines, and everything is moving 70%. %, we're getting there. %, we're starting to see some stuff waiting for other services to finish installing. Alright, and it's done. That took right at about an hour and a half to deploy. Let's go ahead and manage. And here's the landscape dashboard. Okay, let's open the dashboard up and see what we can find. We're going to have the credentials from one of these files. It's okay. I should have opened that in a separate tab. Let's go ahead and pop one of these open. I usually just use the admin one. See if we can get it to open in Notepad++. There we go. And it looks like the dashboard has come up. So this should be admin. And what's our super secret password? This ugly thing right here. And we're logging in. Alright, looks like it's there, ready to go. Let's have a look around. Admin, system information is usually the first place I go, just to see if the services have started and everything's healthy. Gives you the endpoints now, that's going to be helpful. Tells you which machine they're on. Compute services. Everything looks enabled and up. That's good. Storage enabled up. Network agents. Everything looks good. So, let's check project and instances. And we don't have a security group or anything like that, but let's launch one. And we'll just call it test 1. Nova source, we should have at least one image out here somewhere. We've got 1604 and 1404. That's good. It's going to tell you what kind of flavor it needs. What's this? Okay, you can just put it in there. And then flavor. Those are all really big flavors. Oh, there we go, there's a small. So let's do small. Alright, let's launch. And it looks like it's working. Doing some storage work. It's got an IP. Oh, it failed. Device mapping is invalid. So that is a storage issue, I would guess. Could be a compute node issue. Well, let's go to hypervisors here. It's not moving very fast. Everything looks good. Let's make sure the flavor that we picked isn't too big. So we did a small 20 gig root disk, 2 gig RAM, 1 vCPU. Yeah, that should deploy. Let's try one more time. Let's try 1404 this time, just for fun. And we'll do the small flavor again. We don't have any key pairs or anything set up yet. Let's go back to this real quick. Volume. And you want to delete, this is a external volume is what that is. You do want to delete that when you, well, depending on your setup, I want to delete it. Create new volume, yes. Delete volume on instance, volume size. I think you're going to want that bigger than 1 gig. Let's try 10. Let's give that a shot. Let's take a look if we can see any log files. That's the log, that the actual Linux log inside that instance, so that's not going to be ready yet. There's no console, I'm sure. And action log. Okay, nothing helpful. Looks like we got past the block device part. Oh, we moved on to build. This is looking better. It might have just been too quick. We might have made that instance too quickly after everything got installed, or that volume might have not been big enough for this image. We got a different error. Maximum number of retries. Let's take a look. I don't know what it's talking about. Code 500. Hopefully that doesn't mean internal server error like it usually does. Let's take a look at the instance real quick, the creation panel. We might just be timing out. Networks, all we need is the admin network. Network ports. Security group we don't need. It's got the default one in there anyway. We don't need a key pair to bring an instance up. You have to have one to use it. Server groups. Scheduler hints, that's a new one. And metadata. I don't know, third time's a charm. Let's try it anyway. Now we're back to that first error. Let's see if this actually fixed it. We definitely do get a little farther when we bump that volume size up. Same error. Okay, Well, everything's installed. We are to the point where we can create VMs now. So now it's time to troubleshoot and figure out why this isn't working. So we'll get GUI going and do a couple other things so we can see what's happening inside, check the logs. But that's it for this one. So we're stood up, we're landscape's working, OpenStack's installed, everything's ready to go. Now we can hopefully soon we'll figure this out and we can start creating VMs. Thanks for watching.